Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a pretty serious plunge back in time. Way back.
We really are. We're going beyond today's giant.
Oh, yeah. Think about the biggest animals alive now. They look, well, kind of small compared to some of the things we're digging into.
That's the plan. We've got this amazing stack of sources, and we're going to try and quickly unpack the sheer scale, the incredible adaptations, and also the vulnerabilities of these megafauna across millions of years.
Right, from the Carboniferous all the way to the late Pleistocene.
It's a huge span of time.
And we need to set the scene properly. I mean, the scale is just staggering. Our sources start us off with a couple of real showstoppers.
Definitely.
Forget Moby Dick, we're talking about Livyatan, a whale that actually hunted and ate other whales.
A true apex predator of its time.
And then there's Titanoboa, a snake longer than a T-Rex. You just have to let that sink in.
It really recalibrates your definition of big, doesn't it?
Yeah.
These weren't just evolutionary oddities. They were dominant forces for millions of years.
So where do we start? The ocean giants.
Let's dive into the Miocene seas. About 12 million years ago, meet Livyatan melvillei, king of the toothed whales.
Okay, so size-wise.
Yeah.
How does it stack up against, say, a modern sperm whale?
Pretty similar in length, actually, around 13 to 19 meters. So massive, but that's where the comparison kind of ends.
See, the business end was completely different.
Totally different. Modern sperm whales, they're suction feeders, specialized for squid deep down. Livyatan. Well, this is built for combat. Its teeth were weapons.
How big are we talking?
We're talking 30 centimeters long and 10 centimeters wide. Deeply rooted. These are the largest non-tusk teeth ever found on any animal. Ever.
30 centimeters. That's like the length of a ruler. More. A small baguette, like you said. That's insane.
Right. And the jaw holding them had to be incredibly powerful, strong enough to clamp down on something, say, the size of a hippo, and just hold it.
So not slurping squid, then?
Definitely not. It was a pursuit predator. Those teeth weren't just big. They interlocked, angled forward, like a giant meat cleaver, basically, designed to grab and tear apart big, struggling prey.
And the sources suggest it's specialized.
Yeah, the skull shape, that short, wide snout. It points to an incredibly powerful front bite. The thinking is it's specialized in hunting other whales, likely the ancestors of today's baleen whales, much tougher than squid.
Wow. A whale eating whales.
Yeah.
And there's that little naming quirk, too, isn't there?
Oh, right. Yeah, the first skull, found in Peru back in 2008. They initially called it Leviathan, great name, biblical sea monster.
Excess?
But turns out Leviathan was already taken by an extinct type of mastodon, so they had to pivot. They went with Livyatan, which is the Hebrew original for Leviathan. Still fit.
A giant predator needs a giant name.
Yeah.
Okay, from one ocean terror to perhaps the most famous one, Megalodon.
Ah, yes, the Meg. Appeared around 20 million years ago, reached lengths, estimates vary, but up to maybe 18 meters, possibly even more.
And again, the teeth tell the story. Just
They're
massive.
Huge. Over 20 centimeters long sometimes. Compare that to a great white shark today. Their biggest teeth are maybe 7 centimeters. It's not even close.
And we know what it ate, right? Not just fish.
Yeah.
Nope. We have direct evidence. Whale bones, like from the 5-meter Piscobalena, found with unmistakable Megalodon bite marks gouged into them. It was hunting large marine mammals, targeting fatty prey. How does something that big hunt effectively?
The strategy seems to have been ambush from below. Pure power. Come up fast, take a massive bite, often targeting the abdomen or flippers, to immobilize the prey quickly. Brutally effective.
But it wasn't all easy for them, was it? Even the young ones.
No, life was tough right from the start. Fossil nursery sites show the babies were born already huge, maybe 2 meters long. But they faced intense competition, possibly even cannibalism from larger megalodons. Survival of the biggest, right from birth.
It dominated for so long, millions of years, then poof, gone around 3 million years ago. What happened? It seemed invincible.
That's the classic specialist's dilemma, isn't it? It seems its extinction was tied very closely to climate change.
So?
Well, tectonic shifts changed ocean currents, water temperatures dropped. Its main food source, those large whales, adapted and migrated towards the colder polar regions.
And Megalodon couldn't follow.
Exactly. It was likely adapted to warmer waters, couldn't survive or breed effectively in the cold. Its massive size, its greatest asset, required a huge amount of food. When the prey moved, it starved. Its niche disappeared.
A stark reminder. Even the biggest can fall when the world changes around them. Okay, let's crawl out of the ocean. What nightmares were waiting on land and in the swamps?
Oh, plenty. Let's start with Sarcosuchus imperator, the super croc. lived about 120 million years ago.
Not technically a crocodile, though, right?
Correct, technically a phytosaur, a close relative, but look the part and the size. Today's biggest saltwater croc might hit 6 meters, maybe 1,000 kilos. Impressive.
Yeah, terrifying enough.
Sarcosuchus, we're talking up to 12 meters long. Weight estimates are over 4,000 kilograms. At least 50% longer, maybe 3 times heavier than the biggest croc today.
Just enormous. Armored, too, I bet.
Absolutely. Covered in thick, bony scales, osteoderms, a true nightmare in shining armor. What's really fascinating is how its life changed as it grew.
How so?
Its diet shifted completely. Young ones had narrow snouts, good for snatching fish in the water, kind of like a modern gharial.
Okay, makes sense.
But as they got older and bigger, that snout got wider, much more robust. They started hunting bigger game, likely ambushing dinosaurs and large turtles that came to the water's edge.
A two-stage hunter. And they took their time getting that big.
They did. Studies of growth rings in their bones suggest it took maybe 50 or 60 years to reach full size. A long, slow path to becoming a monster.
60 years.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, from megacroc relative to megasnake. Titanoboa.
Found in that Colombian coal mine, Cerrejón, back in 2009. An amazing discovery. This thing was about 13 meters long, maybe close to a meter wide at its thickest point.
And the weight.
Over a ton. Around 1,100 kilograms. It didn't just beat the old theoretical size limit for snakes, which was around 12 meters. It kind of smashed it.
Right, and its size tells us something crucial about its world, doesn't it? Being cold-blooded.
Exactly. That's the key insight. As a poikilotherm, its immense size meant its environment had to be warm. Really warm. Scientists estimate the average ambient temperature needed to sustain its metabolism was at least 30 degrees Celsius, maybe higher.
So the snake itself is like a giant thermometer for the past.
Pretty much. It helped confirm that this region, the precursor to the Amazon rainforest, was incredibly hot and humid back then, around 60 million years ago.
And how did it live? Slithering through the jungle.
Probably not much on land. At that size, moving on land would be really awkward, energetically costly. Like modern anacondas, it likely spent most of its time in the water. Rivers, swamps, gliding through, much more efficient.
Hunting what?
Its teeth suggest fish were a major part of the diet, but given its size, it could likely take on much larger prey, too. Giant freshwater fish, turtles, maybe even the large crocodilians sharing its waters. The original crocodile hunter, indeed.
Okay, sticking with reptiles. Australia's own monster, Megalania.
Varanus priscus, the giant monitor lizard. Roaming Australia as recently as, well, maybe 50,000 years ago. Lived alongside early humans.
How big compared to, say, a Komodo dragon?
Komodo dragons are impressive, right? Maybe 3 meters, 70 kilos. Megalania. Estimates suggest up to 7 meters long, weighing maybe close to 2,000 kilograms. It dwarfs the Komodo, largest lizard ever known.
7 meters. And armed with more than just size.
Oh yeah, big serrated teeth. But here's the interesting bit. Its skull structure suggests its bite force might have been relatively weak for its size.
So how does a 2-ton lizard take down potentially large prey?
The leading theory, like its modern relative the Komodo, is venom. If confirmed, Megalania would be the largest venomous animal known to have existed. A bite would deliver toxins, allowing it to track and wear down prey much larger than itself, even with a less powerful bite.
Stealth and poison over brute force. Clever. And they could survive lean times, too.
That's a key monitor lizard trait. They can eat massive meals, sometimes up to 80% of their body weight, and then digest slowly, surviving long periods without food. That would have been a huge advantage for Megalania during climate shifts or prey scarcity.
Adaptability within specialization.
Yeah.
Okay, we've seen size driven by hunting needs, by climate. But what about size driven purely by air? Let's jump way back. Carboniferous period.
Right, about 300 million years ago. This is a different kind of gigantism. Enter the arthropods, like Arthropleura.
The giant millipede thing.
Basically, yeah, a giant myriapod. Fossils suggest it reached up to 2.5 meters long and weighed maybe 50 kilograms.
2.5 meters. A creepy crawly the size of a small car. How?
Oxygen, pure and simple. During the Carboniferous, the atmosphere was incredibly rich in oxygen. Estimates are around 35% compared to our 21% today.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
It fueled massive growth in creatures with simpler respiratory systems, like arthropods. It wasn't just Arthropleura. You had Meganeura, dragonflies with wingspans of maybe 75 centimeters, 2.5 feet. And giant scorpions, like Pulmonoscorpius, maybe 70 centimeters long.
So the air itself was like a growth serum.
In a way, yes. It allowed them to overcome size limitations imposed by oxygen diffusion. Most Arthropleura fossils are actually molted exoskeletons, discarded skins, but their tracks are amazing legs spaced half a meter apart, so wide they were sometimes mistaken for vertebrate tracks.
An oxygen-fueled world of giant bugs. Okay, let's move forward again. Cenozoic era. What about giant birds and mammals?
The reign of the terror birds, the Forest racids. They dominated South America for nearly 60 million years after the dinosaurs checked out.
60 million years is a long run. How big did they get?
The largest, like Caclembin, were truly formidable. Around 2 meters tall at the hip, maybe 3 meters long overall. Weighed perhaps 250 kilograms like a grizzly bear, but hunting fast on 2 legs. Its head alone was huge, heavier than an entire modern shoebill stork.
Terrifying. How do they hunt?
With that massive hooked beak. Couple of theories. Maybe using it like an axe, repeated strikes to kill prey, or perhaps grabbing smaller prey, shaking it violently to break its neck. And they were fast runners too. Some species estimated at up to 70 kilometers per hour, ostrich speed.
So what ended their reign? They seemed unstoppable.
Climate change played a role, shifting habitats, but the big factor was new competition. The Great American Interchange, when North and South America connected, allowed placental mammals, efficient predators like saber-toothed cats and early canids to move south. The terror birds faced new, highly adaptable competitors.
The mammals arrive. Okay, speaking of mammals, Elasmotherium, the Siberian unicorn.
Right, a giant rhino relative, lived fairly recently alongside early humans from about 2.6 million years ago up to maybe 40,000 years ago. Big animal, up to 5 tons, comparable to a smaller African elephant.
And the unicorn part, that massive horn.
That's the famous feature, yeah. Nicknamed for the supposed single giant horn on its forehead.
Right.
Some old estimates put it at maybe even 3 meters long, which seems extreme.
Yeah, a bit much.
More recent research suggests it might have been more of a large bony dome, possibly supporting a smaller horn, or maybe just a keratinous bump. There was definitely a huge muscle attachment area on the skull and spine, suggesting it could wield whatever was there with considerable force, likely for defense against predators like cave lions or hyenas.
But maybe the real story is in its teeth.
I think so. Elasmotherium had incredibly specialized teeth, hypsodont teeth. They were high-crowned and continuously growing throughout its life.
Why?
Perfect adaptation for grinding really coarse, gritty vegetation like tough steppe grasses. Those grasses wear down teeth incredibly fast. Continuously growing molars meant it could keep eating effectively its whole life, maybe even dig for roots and tubers. A specialized eating machine built for tough times.
Endurance through adaptation. Okay, let's get even bigger. Giant ground sloths. Megatherium.
Oh, yeah. The largest ones, like Megatherium americanum, were simply enormous, up to 6 meters long, weighing around 4 tons, elephant-sized. During their peak in the Pliocene and Pleistocene, they were among the largest land mammals, second only perhaps to mammoths.
Were they slow and defenseless like modern sloths?
Not at all. Once they reached adult size, they likely had no natural predators. And they weren't defenseless. They had huge claws, maybe 15 centimeters long on their front limbs.
15 centimeters.
Daggers.
Exactly. So sharp and long, they actually had to walk on the sides of their front feet, knuckle walking almost, to keep the claws off the ground.
How did they use them? Defense?
Probably defense if needed, but primarily for feeding. They could rear up on their powerful hind legs, using their thick, muscular tail as a third leg, like a tripod. This let them reach high into trees to pull down branches and strip leaves.
Amazing posture. And they left behind something incredible too, didn't they? The burrows. The paleo burrows. Yes. These things are astonishing. Using their size and those massive claws, they dug enormous tunnels, some over 250 meters long and several meters wide. Likely for shelter, maybe raising young. It's incredible evidence of their power and engineering, biological earth movers.
Just leaves you speechless. Okay, one last group known for gigantism.
Oh.
The mustelids, weasels, otters, badgers. They got big too.
Surprisingly big, yes. It seems to be a recurring theme in their family history. You had Ecorus icacran in Africa, about 60 centimeters at the shoulder, built more like a leopard for running down prey, a hypercarnivore.
A leopard-sized weasel.
Pretty much. Then in North America, Megalictus ferox, shaped like a giant ferret but jaguar-sized, maybe 100 kilograms. Skull as wide as a black bear's with teeth built to crush bone.
Okay, bone-crushing giant ferret. And the biggest.
It would likely be Enhydrodon omoensis, a giant otter from Ethiopia. Estimates put it over 200 kilograms.
200 kilos. That's the size of a lion. A lion-sized otter.
Incredible, isn't it? Probably wasn't purely aquatic either. Likely hunted both in water and on land. powerful jaws for crushing hard-shelled mollusks, but also probably capable of taking down significant terrestrial prey. Bone and shell cruncher supreme.
Wow. Okay, looking back across all these creatures, Livyatan, Titanoboa, Sarcosuchus, the terror birds, Megatherium, the sheer scale and diversity is just mind-boggling.
It really is. From the deep oceans to ancient rainforests to icy steppes. What stands out is how many different ways evolution found to achieve massive size. Oxygen levels, specialized hunting tools, unique defenses, dietary adaptations.
These weren't just big animals, they were successful empires. They dominated their ecosystems for millions and millions of years.
Absolutely. They were peak biological machines for their time and place, but that's the crucial link we see in the sources, isn't it?
The specialization.
Exactly. Those incredible adaptations, Livyatan's pursuit teeth, Titanoboa's need for high heat, Elasmotherium's grass-grinding molars, Megalodon's reliance on specific whale prey and water temperatures, they were the keys to success.
But also their downfall.
Precisely. That intense specialization made them incredibly vulnerable when the environment changed. It wasn't always just about being outcompeted physically. It was about the scale of environmental change. Shifting climates, changing sea levels, new vegetation, the arrival of highly adaptable competitors like early humans or those placental predators.
The very thing that made them kings made them fragile in the end.
That seems to be the pattern. Their perfect world didn't last forever.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. We've seen these giants, these rulers of prehistoric Earth, ultimately fall because their specialized worlds shifted beneath them. What does the fragility of these once seemingly invincible megafauna tell you about the challenges facing today's largest animals in our rapidly changing world? Something to think about.